Hello, everybody. My name is Courtney Snell.
And I'm Rodney Cox, and together we are
The Courtney
the
Cox
Courtney
Show.
Cox Show. As you can see, Court still no music, so hopefully the lawyers get it sorted soon and bring a bit of entertainment to the show. But look, we bring you the show today we're both working from home. It's Tuesday, the 17th of March, and COVID-19 or the coronavirus is well and truly spreading throughout Australia. So this episode we're going to focus on what companies out there are doing to help Australian businesses work from home and hopefully flatten the curve, as they say, or slow down the spread of the virus. So look, I came across this page today, Courtney, actually, which indicates what some of those big software companies that specialize in collaboration tools are doing to help companies and businesses through this time of employees working from home. So the website is https://openforbusiness.org. And on there, it goes through all the relevant companies that are offering collaboration tools like 1Password, 8x8 video meetings, Box, Cloudflare, the big ones like Google Cloud, Microsoft and Cisco. You've got GoToMeeting by LogMeIn, and things like Urban Sitter, which is a platform for parents to be able to get, background checked babysitters to come and help whilst you're struggling with juggling with the aspects of trying to work from home and potentially look after kids if school's closed. So that website again, openforbusiness.org, and there's a real lot of information in there of what is actually available for free for Australian businesses to help their employees work from home and collaborate with the rest of their workforce and colleagues. One of the ones that was Teams, Microsoft Teams, and something we work in every day. And we're recording this podcast within the Teams environment, as we showed in episode 1. So I was wondering if you could let people know a little bit more about background on the Teams elements and what you can do to get it working.
Yeah, absolutely. So we first found out about this from an ARN article that came through, which referenced a Microsoft blog post by Jared Spataro. And inside that blog post, Jared referenced obviously the working remotely challenges during challenging times. And within that, they made the announcement where they're offering a 6-month Office 365 E1 trial, which includes Microsoft Teams. And inside that, they're also then opening up the freemium features, which have been available in Teams for a long time as a free product. They're now expanding that out so that they don't have the usage restrictions that they currently have. So they're going to blow the top off it and open it right up. There's obviously still a number of top line features, and we'll talk about a little later on, that are not available in the freemium product or the free product. But certainly the ability to work from home, use a piece of software that is available to all and sundry these days is absolutely fantastic. So great initiative within the industry, not just to Microsoft, but within the industry.
No, that's right. And they're all doing what they're calling free now. I'll give a shout out to Carl Goff, who runs a very, very good a solution for those who are trying to meet executives around Australia. It's called Starlight Meeting for Good, and he commented on a LinkedIn post I did and said, "Nothing's for free, Rodney." And yes, I agree that it would be good for people who start using this technology, that once those free periods are up, whether it be 3 or 6 months, that they will continue using it and probably pay for it. But I really do wonder, after all of the work from home and self-isolation happens, what is going to be the new norm in terms of people working? Are we going to go back to all working in offices or a mix of it, or are we going to really thrive in this remote working environment using these type of tools? So be interested to see what happens in a few months' time. But is there something you can share with us to talk about some of those additional features, like you get free meetings, but in terms of the Microsoft Teams element, if you want to get audio, people conferencing in, or being able to call people yourself, how that works?
Yeah, correct. So you're quite right. From an Office 365 perspective, with inside the different licensing elements that are there, with inside the E1 license, with Microsoft, you're going to need to add on, if you want those additional I suppose, dial-in conferencing capabilities where people can use a telephone number and come in and connect. You're going to need that audio conferencing add-on. If you then want to have the full telephony experience, and that's something that obviously we do a lot of work in and specialize around, you need to make sure you've got that phone system add-on included. And then similarly across the right-hand side, you can see that the session border controller contract with a telco and a public certificate or a public IP for that session border controller. The great part about this is that today, it's so accessible. It used to take an enormous amount of time to get infrastructure. You'd have to sign contracts. You get a piece of equipment in. You have to build the tin. These days, with the likes of Azure and other cloud service providers, you can literally turn that infrastructure on. It's established virtual images of the session border controllers that you want. You can get those public certificates within 24 hours, and public IP addresses are obviously available. So the ability to get that voice service up and running, and then match it with a telco provider with an over-the-top over the internet service, such as what Vocus are providing into the market today, just means that you don't have to have any of that infrastructure on premise these days. Very quick, very easy to turn on, and get up and running and established and give you a true voice element inside a Microsoft Teams environment, straight from a cloud-hosted platform.
Yeah, very good, very good. And seems quite simple. So look, if there's anyone out there, reach out via LinkedIn or visit our website, send us something if you'd like to have more information. There's plenty of system integrators out there at the moment that are offering free advice to try and help Australian businesses cope with this unprecedented experience and level of self-isolation that we're going through at the moment. So, Court, one of the things we're talking about is working from home and using Microsoft Teams or any type of other software as a service app. But the topical thing at the moment is around telcos. You mentioned Vocus and NBN, and whether or not the network is going to be able to handle the traffic and the performance.
Absolutely. As we're all working from home now, and we're all coming back, and we're going to work in that way. We're still in the I suppose the minutiae of what is the NBN rollout across Australia. We're going to start to see more people using their home connections for these style of scenarios, rather than being inside the office and using the corporate connections that have traditionally been the big fat bulky pipes that we're accustomed to. So yeah, we're definitely going to start to see some contention, I'm sure, as we start potentially see school kids from home. Nothing's been announced yet, but
nothing's been announced yet. But
I'm sure we're going to be
over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yep, we're going to be contending against Netflix for all that type of traffic.
So look, let me just invite our first guest. I'll just send him a little note to get him to come on into the meeting. And his name is John Milionis from Riverbed. And as you can see, John's just coming in. Here he is. Another work from home. Look at that. Beautiful.
Courtenay.
There he is. We're just waiting for your internet to, there it is. So just needed to first confirm. We actually just talking about NBN speeds and network speeds and what the performance is, John. So it just sort of showed there that a little bit of a freeze on the way in. But once it's connected and up and running, it's quite clear. And we can hear you loud and clear.
Good stuff, mate. Well, I gave it a run today, mate. I had my two daughters at home. Their school has shut for the rest of this term until Easter holidays at least, due to COVID. And teenagers in high school, and they're trying to do virtual learning. I was doing web sessions. There were voices going everywhere. So today was a good litmus test, that's for sure.
Welcome to our new norm. Now, look, before we do jump into some of the information, John, one of the things around this self-isolation is we've got to make sure we keep that human contact. And for us today, what I wanted to do was, it is after 5:30, everyone. So one of the things I wanted to do was actually introduce what's our favourite craft beer. And for me, Stone and Wood, it's been a favourite of mine for a long time, brewed in the Byron Bay region. And one of the things I like about it is if you can go to Byron Bay and you can do the tour of the original brewery. They've got a massive brewery now a bit further out where they're just pumping through the cases of beer and exporting them out. But they have said in their tour, and I did a bit more research today, and it's still the case, a lot of their employees are shareholders, and they're not looking to sell out to any of the big guys in terms of the big brewers. They want to make it and keep it a community brewed beer, which is one thing I really enjoy hearing about in this day and age, with that community spirit. And look, it's got a little fruity taste, and on a summer afternoon, there's nothing better than drinking a Stone and Wood. So, Court, what have you got there?
That's it, mate. No, the Cricketer's Arms, Cricketer's Lager, is always a favourite for myself. So, and as you've gone for something from New South Wales, I've gone for something in Melbourne. So, just to add a little bit of continuity to the conversation we're having here.
A bit of rivalry.
That's right, exactly right. Well, I haven't exactly dropped a Vic Bitter, but I think the Cricketer's is a good one for my
nothing
money.
wrong with Vic Bitter. Hard earned first. One of the best ads going around. And John, what have you got for us?
Well, I'm torn. There's a craft brewery called Colonial nearby. So I'm in Port Melbourne, and it's awesome. So they do an amazing pale ale and a draft. So I'm going to crack the pale ale open, and there's something really, really cool about this. Oh, Jesus! See how big the
just move it over a little bit. I can't see. There it is.
There you go.
The big gulp.
It's kind of like the big gulp. So if I kind of like, that is bloody good. So if you kind of see that, you kind of get the big gulp.
Lovely, fantastic.
So it's really interesting can.
About the big gulp, the Ben Spoke Brewery in Canberra, they do it as well with the big gulp, and they told me it's like a wine in order for you to smell the fragrances in the beer as you're drinking it. Most of us think it just goes down quicker, but
cheers, guys.
Ben Spoke, which has a really couple of beers down there as well in Canberra. So anyway, John, without further ado, give us a bit of background on Riverbed and how you're helping customers with SaaS performance.
Yeah. So look, Riverbed's been around since 2004. So a lot of participants in the IT ecosystem know of us or think they know who we are. So what was really interesting is in 2004, Riverbed was born as a performance company. And we were improving the performance of applications way back when, back in the day when everyone had WANs, right? And I had hair and we were all younger and fitter and all that kind of stuff, right? But back in those days as well, we all pretty much used to sit in the same office and apps were hosted near in the main. So we fast forward to 2020 and we're all working from home remotely. We're accessing SaaS apps, O365, Teams, absolute juggernaut. But we've got users trying to connect to those apps from all over the place and trying to access all sorts of different files. So what Riverbed does today is we accelerate the performance of those applications all the way to the end user. So for instance, your laptop, Coxie or Courtenay or even my own, and we can accelerate performance all the way into SaaS, including O365. And we do it pretty simply. We can pop an agent on your device. We can then spin up some virtual infrastructure in Azure and it bounces straight in O365. And voila, you start getting a significant performance improvement. And, that's important because, obviously as we invest in these applications, performance is paramount. So, in the CBDs of the world, you should be okay. So Melbourne, Sydney, latency is pretty good. Being hosted in Mascot in Sydney, we've got people in this country, regionally, Western Australia, Northern Queensland, regional New South Wales, regional Vic, they might have subsidiaries, in New Zealand and Asia Pac, etc. So, trying to get everyone that consistency of performance is what we do, and have been doing it for quite some time now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And look, as you said, it's the tyranny of distance, right? So those offices or people who are living in those inner cities probably don't see network performance that bad. Now, we still haven't tested with everyone working from home what it's going to be. But those that haven't got strong internet connections or are a little bit further away from network integration points, then, these type of technologies will help them be able to function a whole lot better, no matter where they're working from.
Yeah, I think, one of the challenges for everyone, guys, is the variability in performance. So, you might be downloading in CBD Sydney, but then you jump on a plane and, you're trying to access that file from, Queensland or WA or, Christchurch or somewhere like that. Totally different performance. You might be away on your weekender and you're in regional New South Wales and you're working from a cafe on the weekend and, you're hanging off someone's Wi-Fi in a cafe, different connectivity type, and going, hey, this file's not, great. It's taken me an inordinate amount of time. So, what we do, Coxie and Courtenay, is equalise that performance, to make sure that it's consistent for all users at all times, irrespective of where they might be trying to access that application from.
All right, perfect. Thanks for that. Now, look, these episodes we try and keep nice and short, so I think we've probably gone over our 5-minute limit. We're probably closer to the 10 on this one, but these are unprecedented times, so hopefully we've passed on a little bit more information to you. And look, come to the website, send out any questions on LinkedIn or any sort of information. We'll point you to where you need to go. But John, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, John.
I'm sure everything. We're going to need all the help we can get over the next few months.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, Coxie. See you guys.
Bye.
Remember, keep your cameras on.